back here at the GSL Codas. We just saw Gumiho 2-1 a laser, but a laser's not knocked out yet. It's very good to be back here at the GSL with some pizza.
Yeah. This is what I have to put up with, guys. He doesn't care. He doesn't care that I live my entire life not being able to eat pizza at the studio. It looks good, too.
I don't feel bad at all.
It's got olives and peppers on it. I love olives and peppers, mushrooms.
It's got the salami. It's so good.
No, not that part. But
I became a fan of olives again.
that's good. That's the right choice. Olives are just good. You got food all over your hands and stuff. You're just like a messy eater like my kids.
I'm going to cast better with this pizza in my system.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
I got a whole pizza to myself.
By the way, what do you think about our outfits this season? I like my shirt. It makes me look muscly, just like I am.
Just like you actually are.
Look at those pecs, man. I'm like,
And I like my dark shirt because it makes me look skinny, just like I actually am.
I look like TV static, so you can't really tell if you're staring at me if your monitor's working.
You're wearing a magic eye. One of those magic eye shirts right now.
My shirt blends in with your grayness and your beard when it's not
We kind of
dyed.
match. Let's get the ties out. Let's cross them over. Whoa, they color coordinated.
It's like camouflage.
Mama dressed us.
2017.
We are going into our second best of three. This is Korea versus Korea, as it normally is in the GSL. The winner of this match will go on to fight Gumiho, the GSL Codas champion. The loser will face off against a laser in this first GSL Codas. He is from Poland.
Yeah. Now, looking at this next match, KeeN is the ultimate underdog this season, I would say. Kind of similar to, like, we don't expect foreigners to go particularly far, even though I think this time we're going to get some of them going pretty far. But KeeN is like the 12th best Terran or something like that. You know, like you look at him and he's like bottom 3 for people you'd think would win.
If he was one of the giants
GSL.
in Shadow the Colossus, he'd be the first Colossus.
Okay.
It's a joke that works Artosis. It has legs, trust me.
Does it?
At least 5% of our audience kind of chuckled. Yeah, you guessed it right, Texas. He'd be the first Colossus.
And some laughed anyways, and they'd never played the game. Don't know what I'm talking about. Now, Rogue, though, this guy actually could win. He says he wants to make the finals this season. He's been on top of the KeeN ladder for a really long time. He had Sue dead to rights in the round of 8. And here he is, right? Like, this is... I mean, it's his day to lose, I would say. You look at this group. Thing is, the laser played really well, so who knows what happens, but I came in tonight thinking Gumiho Rogue.
I do believe KeeN is the weakest link in this matchup, but you cannot count him out. He's been in so many GSLs.
Yeah, he's been
and he surprised us from time to time. He's not a guy we see in the finals. But you know what? You know who was not a guy we saw in the finals for a long time? Gumiho.
Yeah.
People keep improving. Anyways, game number 1 goes on the map, Abyssal Reef.
You can fly, you can tell them that you tried, but there ain't no going back. They'll never catch me.
In the bottom right, in the blue, our Terran player.
KeeN.
In the upper left, in the red, our Zerg player, rank 1 on the ladder.
Generic Green Wings. Rogue.
And truthfully, this guy's rise to Zerg power has been so long coming. Like, there was a point in time, guys, where he and Sulky were the best 2 Zergs in the world. Like, Sulky was the main Zerg, and then it was like Rogue was quietly sitting there, like, around number 2, right? And then he fell off a little bit. Like, he was always killing in qualifiers. He was just quietly one of the best players. And I feel like he had a couple years in there where it was, like, kind of shaky for him.
Especially in Pro League.
Yeah, like, he'd have good matches, but, you know, it wasn't, we didn't consider him a top 3 Zerg, a top 4 Zerg necessarily. Now, here he is again, and I think he's surprised some people. Like, if you don't pay really close attention to how good everyone is at the moment, it's easy to overlook Rogue, but he is legit so strong right now.
I do wonder if this is going to be Rogue season. I have a bad feeling. I'm actually worried he might not get out. I feel like Rogue has had so many ups and downs. His career has kind of looked like a seismograph.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that to be mean to him, but we've just seen days where it's like he's playing so well and then he chokes, like what happened against Sue, or a lot of those days in Pro League where we didn't think he would do well and he did very well, and then other days where he would lose to somebody he was not supposed to lose to at all.
Totally.
I wonder if, the struggle for Rogue is very much an internal one. A lot of times people look at what they see on the screen, like the strategy or how good they macro, micro, but a lot of times there's more to it than that. Does this player have confidence issues? Does he have anxiety issues?
And
does he believe in himself?
Yeah.
Can he prove what he's able to do in practice? Because you can point to the ladder all day, but that has nothing to do, in some sense, with being on stage where the world's watching and you have to play against the same person over and over on maps you picked and eliminated, with somebody who can prepare against your own play style.
Yeah, things like that can completely destroy you. You have the littlest bit of anxiety. You're going to play it like a tiny percentage of what you could play, right? And when you get to high levels of StarCraft, every ounce of your execution and your skill is going to count and matter. But we'll see how Rogue ends up doing here. KeeN just going into Reactor Hellions now, everything kind of vanilla from him. Rogue did sneak in a couple lings, but KeeN waited around long enough that they didn't really get to harass that command center making CC too much.
Reaper's continuing to move around here. So far, we haven't had any drones killed off, and it looks like the Reaper is now taken out.
Yeah, not the greatest Reaper, but he sent it kind of late anyways. It was sitting on defense, kind of aware of what Rogue might try to do, and he was trying to do it. When they're building the reactor and send out the Reaper right away, those two lings, man, those are killers. They kill that SCV making the command center, and you are just going to cry.
This is cool. Terran's going to go for a Raven and then go for Cloak.
Okay. Raven has always been good on this map.
It's absolutely. And then I guess the Banshee follow-up there is certainly not bad. So this is not a dramatic, aggressive play where you're pumping out Banshees and, in some sense, crossing your fingers, hoping you can take out workers because your Banshee control is better than their drone removal. Instead, we get something a little bit more modest coming from the Terran, and I would say a little bit more safe.
Which is kind of interesting as well, don't you think? Because you look at these two, and I think you have to say, no matter what metric you're going by, that Rogue is a stronger player.
Oh, I agree for sure.
So, if he plays a completely safe normal game.
Did that Raven actually finish? Because he's making a Viking now.
Well, didn't he go Raven then Banshee, or?
No, I might be crazy. I don't believe I saw a Banshee at all. There's something flying across the map. I don't think there's enough time for that to have been the case.
Okay, did he just cancel Cloak?
Or did he cancel the Raven? Well, okay, no, there's the Raven.
Okay.
Hi, guys. We cast this for a living. Hi. Welcome to the stream. I guess he got Cloak, but then it didn't want to utilize it right away. So, okay, so he has a Viking out now to hit Overlords. I guess we might see, Banshees coming here abruptly later on.
It could be. I think he actually canceled Cloak. I wasn't looking to see if it finished on the right. It was very close to done, but it seemed like it just suddenly disappeared. Anyways, he didn't make a Raven, so I assume that is the case. Now, or a Banshee, rather. But the Raven helps him to push back a little bit of this creep, but he's really not done any damage. And he has a bunch of Hellions against Roaches right now, so those aren't going to be really all that helpful. Of course, he can get an Armory and turn those into Hellbats to support his army a bit later on, but Rogue going into some Roach speed. We'll see what upgrades he gets with these Evos.
So the Hellions are continuing to orbit around the outside of the Zerg's base. He wants to try to take out any creep tumors that are out there. He may try to dive in with these Hellions and actually get some workers. It really depends on whether or not he sees an opening.
Let's see if he actually commits here. Those Roaches could make this very hard on him. Raven popping in as well. Does get pushed back by the Queens. Good transfusion.
Seems like he's unsure of pushing any further here with these Hellions. And these Hellions have taken actually a decent amount of damage, which means they might not be viable later on unless they're prepared to come in here and actually do kills on the workers later on.
Infestation Pit coming, and those are Roach upgrades right there, right?
That's right.
So we are not going to see necessarily too many Lings popping out at this point.
Oh, really nice hit here.
Roach Ravager
by Rogue.
Hydra. And also, with that Infestation Pit, you can definitely get some fungals to really destroy things. Definitely a slightly older legacy of the Void Cell. Oh my god, Bro and Bro movement.
Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
That's impressive considering we saw a Raven.
Yeah. Well, I think he's counting on eventually killing that Raven somehow.
Yeah. Well, he definitely might get it. Now, in this game, we do see that Stim is done. This may be favorable for Terran to try to come out here and push. Granted, there's a lot of roaches, and these Hellions were thinned out a little bit. I think Terran may have enough muscle with his army to at least try to push, especially with the Viking out that's been driving back the Overlords. The Zerg may be more caught off guard when the push actually gets there than the Zerg getting the opportunity to monitor the push as it goes out across the map.
This coming up here, he wants to actually clean up some of these creep tumors, throwing down some auto turrets as well, but lots of roaches here.
Yeah, it seems like Zerg just has too much muscle.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter where the Terran pushes.
Like
the Zerg bullies him back off the creep.
To be honest, I'm still a little bit... that was funny, by the way that Siege Tank turned while in siege mode. Imba. But, like, I'm not really sure about the plan of KeeN, because against this style, especially on this map, sometimes we see people go mass siege tanks, right? But this is one factory siege tanks. He started them a little bit late. He's adding some random things in here. He's still got these Hellions. They've not really done anything this game except push creep back. I don't know. It's kind of weird the way that KeeN has been playing this, I feel.
Okay. We see the pickup now. Oh, these tanks are exposed! The Lings are definitely going to get a good surround here, though 2 tanks go down. Less push potential and less defense here for KeeN. In fact, I think that there is no reason for Rogue to not try to come out here and start poking the third. He's got enough Ravagers. He can take out any remaining tanks in siege mode.
And he's getting Ultralisk Cavern. Like, everything is looking really, really strong for Rogue right now. He really hasn't taken any damage this game. He's got a fantastic drone count, going up to a 5th base. Whereas KeeN, like, I feel like he lacks a bit of direction again. Like, look, he's making 3 Marines and a Siege Tank and 2 Medevacs right now while getting 2-2. Look at that army. Like, is this an anti-Ultralisk army? Has he been aggressive with this army?
Nothing's really working.
You know what I mean?
Like, and, a lot of the opening of this game didn't seem to be in proper Terran rhythm.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't seem to want to bring this... Like, what he was doing at the start didn't seem to answer what the Zerg was doing. Rogue, meanwhile, is getting pretty buff here as far as Zerg supply and army and upgrades go. And I just don't know if this is going to fare well here for KeeN later on. In fact, I think this 4th base that KeeN's going to take, I don't think he can keep it.
Yeah, maybe not. It looks like he's going to focus more heavily on Liberators now. He is getting a Fusion Core, so I guess he's going to go ahead and grab that Liberator range. Will be pretty useful overall against Ravagers as the anti-Liberator. It's going to be hard for them to actually launch those Biles and kill off ranged Liberators. But, yeah, this 4th base, man, I don't know.
With that being said, Artosis, I do think that Zerg still has enough Ravagers anyways. Like, it's going to be better against them.
Yeah,
but I think that the sheer number of Ravagers...
Yeah, I think, like strategically, it's not a terrible call here to get the Liberator range, especially considering, like, he's forced in the late game. He did nothing super aggressive this game at all, and he did nothing super greedy. It was just kind of very middle-of-the-road Terran.
Terran now pushing up. We see Zerg is very comfortable contesting this. I do think Terran at this part of the map has a better army. But it's not easy to push through these narrow valleys, especially with that many Corrosive Biles.
Yeah.
They can basically blanket a little area, and the Terran can't actually edge forward without possibly losing some of his units in that clump.
You get a fungal on this group of Marines, it's all going down. That is a lot of Ravagers.
Yeah, and in fact, he might not... Oh, well, never mind. Oh, my God, that's what we're talking about, baby! That was good.
That's what we're talking about, baby! Whoa!
This is a sports trail! Can he get in? He's going to go ahead and bust down the depots. Now it's Marauders against Banelings, so the Banelings go ahead and move now towards the SCVs.
Not the most damage being done, but he's keeping KeeN back, and that's really all he needs. He's getting a Spire right now, and his upgrades are finishing.
You see him burrow, by the way, back at the ramp.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he's like, I hope you don't see this. Okay, he's going to get the Ultralisk Cavern, and that does go down.
Oh, God, the Spire. Those are 2 very strong pickoffs.
This is a
there.
pretty big interruption for Zerg Tech. Now, he has some Ultralisks out here on the map, and actually 2 more on the way, so I believe he'll have 5 or 6 total.
Yeah, just the fact that he got the Spire,
I think, he didn't see this.
So incredibly important. Yeah, all those were actually so around, but these Liberators are getting harder and harder to kill off. Again, he only really has Ravagers to erase them with. Now, he gets up pretty close and isn't really utilizing the range, so the first few of them are going to go down very quickly.
The Liberators are bunched up and now taken out with the Corrosive Biles. Fungal's connecting. Just some Siege Tanks here in the back, and that will be taken out as well.
Yeah,
Will it? How many of those actually connected to those tanks?
Yeah. KeeN's push actually kills off a bit more than I was expecting here, but to be honest, like, he just kind of immediately sieged up all the Liberators. He really didn't use the range there at all, so that was kind of sloppy by him, and it allows Rogue to break through. Now going for his counterattack here.
Okay, the Marines are kiting back on the ramp. I don't think the Marine Marauder can actually be broken here by the Zerg, but a lot of these SCVs are still exposed, and I think Zerg is happy to trade some of his higher tech units to take out these workers. GG, Rogue takes game number 1.
Okay, strong showing here by Rogue, and, you know, KeeN, it was interesting how he played this one, right? It was like very middle of the road. He got his upgrades, though. He got some decent units. That drop, that double drop was really quite fantastic. But at the end of the day, like, he just didn't interrupt Rogue at all. And if you let a Zerg do whatever they want on 5 bases, you are in for some trouble.
KeeN definitely looking like the weaker player. The opening didn't seem to give him the edge. The bushes did not have the control, the setup, or anything that allowed Rogue to struggle or let Rogue struggle back there. So I have to say, I think that Rogue is looking primed and ready to move on to the winner's match, where he'll be facing off against Gumiho. But of course, in this best of 3, we give KeeN a second chance.
Yeah. And possibly even a third. We'll see about that. Newkirk Precinct going to be our next map.
That's right.
Here.
Hope you have some visitation rights with this precinct.
Yeah. Well, I think he might be visiting it with some Reapers, tasteless.
We'll see about that. No contraband here, folks. We are going now into game number 2. KeeN versus Rogue. KeeN, really the underdog of this group. Let's see how he does against the guy who's ranked 1 on the Korean ladder. That's Rogue, by the way. He's ranked 1.
You could tell them that you tried, but there ain't no going back. They'll never catch
me. In the bottom left corner of the map, our blue Terran player.
KeeN.
Spelled backwards, it's Neek. And if you change one of those letters, it becomes Neeb. What does it mean?
Oh my
Bible
gosh.
code.
They need to switch to Protoss to win championships?
In the bottom right, in the red.
Jin Air Green Wings. Rogue.
Oh, well, that's a...
What was that sound you made?
That I made?
That was like a yawn and a sigh and a loud noise. Oh!
Well, I was like, I wonder if we'll see 3-Axe Reaper here, but with that barracks placement, I would say no.
I think you're right, Artie.
Kind of, like, okay. So look, he's like actually kind of semi-prepping for it, I think. It's just very common on this map.
So this map, there's a lot more friction in the mid-game. We do go to long games on this map, by the way, as well, but it can get pretty intense. A lot of times the third bases are taken pretty close to each other. It's not a long distance travel. Even if you take the third base that's farther away, it's very susceptible to a variety of different attacks.
You can see who likes StarCraft and who likes their phones.
Put your phones down, guys. Games are on. All right,
Jeez.
Busted. Maybe they're watching the stream. But that wouldn't make sense.
If
you guys
they
are in the studio. What are you
stream,
doing?
Yeah, it's like delayed by
Just want to add views, guys.
What, it's like 30 seconds delayed or something like that, too? That would be terrible.
There's one guy on his phone. 2 guys paying attention.
Get him out of the hot 6 zone. He's on his phone. That's not how you show respect to GSL.
So, I guess the big question here is, how is KeeN's mid-game going to be? I think some people might disagree with me, but in all the games I've casted on this, it does seem like that's really the big focal point. Assuming that somebody is going to push, and we almost always have one party trying to push the other.
Yeah, it's a very quick way to go, right? And it's like the map is not really all that complex. The terrain is not that hard to navigate.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you look at Abyssal, you're like, okay, there's some tricky stuff here with terrain. This map, not so much.
Yeah.
You take the pocket third, okay, there's like a ledge right above it. Okay, there we are. That's the terrain.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
pretty straightforward, I would say.
Okay. Reaper coming in now. Ooh, really nice hit on all the drones. Is he going to... Whoa! That was crazy. I saw the bullet fly from the Reaper's gun, and somehow the drone still got down in time.
Yeah. It's a very quick drone.
Reaper being chased away. This is always tricky for Zerg to try to split this properly. Oh!
Wow. Felt like that was me jump roping there. Like I get over 2 or 3 times and then the lings kill me.
And then the lings kill you? So that was your jump roping on the roof of your apartment building?
You know, when the 2 kids are swinging it on each side and you're like trying to jump over both.
Remember when you were a little kid and you could like do things like jump rope or move your body quickly at will?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. That's okay, because computer games exist.
Play with hacky sacks and stuff like that. The cool kid stuff. Use a yo-yo.
Oh, yeah. Yo-yos, man. Now it's all about the spinners.
Oh, yeah, the fidget
Can
spinner.
you do tricks with a spinner, though? Can you actually do tricks, or is this...
Well, no. You see, as humanity progresses forward, people's willingness to do hard things progresses backwards. So, like, for instance, when we were kids, it was yo-yos where you'd actually have tricks and skills. Nowadays, people just spin a fidget spinner, right? Which is zero skill. It's nothing. In mine and your days, everyone was playing StarCraft 1 and now StarCraft 2. Nowadays, look at the things we call esports. Oh, my God.
Back in my day, we used to just have fun with a stick pushing a hoop down a street, guys.
That's right. Oh, man.
Now, this game, unlike the last game, I think Cloak is going to finish here, and we are going to actually have Banshees used.
Yeah, and kind of cool to see, by the way. This is kind of taking a page out of the Book of Solar. It looks like there could be a 3 queen drop coming up for some harassment.
I think you may be right. These queens are taking a lot of damage.
You know to get out of here with your Banshees when 3 queens start running towards you.
Yeah,
It's
something's
like, oh,
wrong.
God. What if that was a fake? What if he doesn't even have a layer and the Banshee
Oh,
just
that would
runs
be
away?
so meta.
That would be
Okay.
super meta.
Hitting that Banshee. Nidus Network.
Oh my gosh. Okay, maybe that wasn't a drop, actually, on the way that was just an overseer. I'm like, oh, it's a queen drop. It's because I'm talking about fidget
He's
spinners.
going for oracles again.
Yeah. He's going to pop a fidget spinner up in his base. Watch this.
All right, get ready. The Nidus, where's he? I think he's going to place it in the main. I think this is going
I
to be
think
more of a
you're right.
blatant play.
Yeah, he's just going for broke with this
He
one.
doesn't care.
Tastes.
He's like, I'll do what I want. You're not my real dad. You can't tell me what to do.
I bet you he's older
Yeah.
than KeeN, too. That's why it's especially funny. I'm like, the
Okay.
better player's always older, right?
Okay, Nidus Network halfway done. Rogue asks KeeN, do you have Wi-Fi? Because I need the password for my Nidus Network.
Oh, man. It looks like all these
He's gonna get
SCVs
out.
actually blocking a lot of this. Plenty of transfusions going down, though.
Okay, this I think is coming out at too high of a rate. The damage is getting exponential. The Banshee is not going to be able to defend this at all with the
Jeez.
Overseer there. And this game should be ending before Stim really comes into play.
Yeah, everything
G.
going down.
Just one G.
Well, that was only a game, not a very good one.
The letter of the day in this episode of Sesame Street is G. Does it stand for good? Does it stand for game? Whatever you want. It starts with G. Garden,
Grover.
gamble, geriatrics. I don't know. Yeah. Well, Rogue did that pretty easily.
Here's where I sit here and I can't think of another word that starts with
I know,
G.
I'm
I'm like,
starting
how
to stress out.
stupid am I?
I only know 9 words that start with G.
I know one. Garbage.
Yeah. There you go, Artosis. Well, KeeN, looks like your match is going to be in Warsaw, buddy. You're going up against a laser. Let's see how it goes. Now, on the other hand, we have Rogue going up against Gumiho. That's going to be a good match, too.
Yeah, that really is going to be a good match, and especially considering Rogue already got to see a couple strategies that Gumiho brought special here tonight. So definitely there is a lot of Gumiho TVC for Rogue to take into consideration for this next match.
That's right. We're going to be right back after this short break with Gumiho versus Rogue, the winner match of Day 1 of the GSL Codex.
Always looking out for higher flows. Wanna see it all, give me more.